friends, thanks for joining me tonight on Tuesday night Hangout Live with ToledoJess, Dano, and I. Hey YouTubers and friends, how you doing tonight out there? I hope you all are doing awesome. We have a return guest tonight, Klint Washburn of Goldclaw, the inventor, the founder, the president, and hopefully his sidekick and partner in crime, Ken Snyder. We're having a little Murphy's Law with Skype again, but don't go away because we'll be right back. YouTubers and friends. How's it going, guys?
Every day on your beat, flashing lights. Every day on your beat, flashing your lights.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Again, I'm doing really good myself. Kind of tired from working out in the rain and a long weekend. Let me bring in my buddies here on Skype. There they are.
Hey Ed.
Hey Jesse, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
You made it home safe yesterday? Or
Yes,
today?
sir. From the
today?
or no, yesterday.
Oh yeah, today's Tuesday, right? Yep.
Today's Tuesday. All day. I think we got a show tonight.
Tuesday Night Live. That's right. Well, I'm sorry you got rained out on your day to go out.
Well, you know, best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah.
You know, we all had plans this weekend, and you know how it goes.
none of them went right.
Right. Well, but you know what? We had a good time anyways. We got to meet old friends, make a few new ones at the Indiana Gold Show. So that was a lot of fun. You know, had a great time. I mean, we were in the booth both days instead of the one we were planning, but it was still, all in all, it was a good time.
Yeah, regardless if we didn't get to go out and play Sunday, we had a really good day at the Gold Show.
Yes, sir.
I know I had a good time. Why don't we bring Dano in?
Oh, is he here too?
I think.
Does he know it's Tuesday?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was at the water cooler. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, guy?
I'm still trying to get over the weekend. Getting rested back up, but work keeps you tired.
Yeah.
Especially when it's windy and freezing out.
You ain't a kidding, buddy. Today was a sucky day.
You know, after you guys left Sunday night, Sunday.
Yeah, you went to bed.
Yeah, I mean, all of us. All of us. I'm sitting there at the table, nodding out. You know, just nod. I said, you know what? It was like maybe 9 o'clock. I don't know. Went to bed early though.
I did when I got home. That's for sure.
Yeah. Then like I said, I drove home Mondays. It was raining, so I didn't go out. I don't like getting sick, and I'm afraid I would get sick with all that rain, that cold weather, because the temperatures were dropping. I don't think it got past 60.
We need to make a return trip and actually get out to the creek.
We need to go hit that spot.
I got out Friday, and I did for 2 hours. I did you seen. I did pretty darn good for 2 hours. Me and Patrick.
Yeah, you did real good.
We both got on the nozzle and took a turn running it. We ran it 2 hours straight and did a clean out.
There you go.
Oh, excellent. Here, I'm gonna turn off my vid cam, so I'm gonna put the picture of us up here so they don't have to look at this.
Boop, boop, and out go the lights.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun weekend. I want to thank our host
Patrick
Moore
and Wendy.
his better half Wendy.
Yes.
They're
Thank you
great
very
people.
much.
and that monstrous pot pie we
Hey,
ate.
Patrick's in the room. Hi,
That,
Patrick. How you
that
doing?
monstrous pot pie we ate. That
Oh,
5-pound
dude,
pot pie.
pot pie and a half.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
so
a pie and a
good.
half. Yes, it
Definitely
was.
filling. That's
Oh
for
man,
sure. Um, Let me try
was
and
there
see if
7
I
of us
can.
ate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna try and bring in Ken again. I don't
Okay.
know where Clint is with him, but
I'll say you might still be trying to help him too.
yeah, I don't think he'll be able to call him into the conversation.
Patrick says he just finished the rest of it. Well, hell yeah, it was good. Definitely good. Oh, look. I just put our picture up there from the Gold Show.
Yeah.
Very cool. And hey, look, it was got the pocket pants.
Yeah, well, your pocket pan, I didn't
Hey, you
get
know what?
mine
Hey,
yet.
whoa. Before we go anywhere, why is my pan so small? Everybody's got big pans, but me, I got a little pan.
That's because it's the new pocket pan. And that's actually a prototype, if I remember right.
Right, that's a prototype. I got that prototype.
Oh,
I used
man.
it
I should
from
have
the.
had Clint sign it.
Oh, no, I want to use it.
I'll say you just wore his name off using it.
Yeah.
True.
I
Because
signed mine. I signed mine, and the name has gone off. And so,
I know I'll end up using it and wearing out the name, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, I actually like painting with that little thing.
No.
Jared, have you tried running it over yet?
No, we're not going to. Especially with big heavy trucks or cars or anything like that. I was so
Not a good
confident
idea.
in it, ran over it once, not a third time.
That's why we laugh, Jared.
Oh, you're funny, Jaron. You're funny. Oh, for the love of Michael.
Well,
And,
what do you think? You want to
yeah, let's bring in our guest.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be able to get Ken in eventually.
Yeah. Well, he's on mute.
Well, he should be able to hear me.
I sure can. Are you inviting me in?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Here's
Excellent.
Klint Washburn, inventor of the Gold Claw. How you doing? Are you still there? Did we lose you?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm still here. I just realized I had your show on and I was listening, so I had to mute one of them.
Yeah.
You've never done that before, I'm sure.
Not me. Oh, did we just get another person? There, Kenneth.
There he is.
There he is. There
You got him?
Yep, he's on. I see his pretty
Right
face.
on, just in time.
Oh, he froze. I don't hear him though.
Is he there? Oh, he's
I
got his
see him,
video.
but I don't hear him.
And headsets.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Well, that's good. We're going to get Ken after all. Ken's been out working all day, and Ken scrambling in to be part of the show, and
That's good.
we're lucky he's going to make it. I didn't think he'd make it for a while.
He's hooking himself up there.
Looks like it's
There you
daylight there.
Hey, Ken, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good. We finally got you on.
Outstanding. Glad to be on, guys. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, our pleasure, dude. You know, you turned us on to a cool product and been enjoying it. And yeah, it's been fun. Love this gold show. You made it back home in time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Clint had a little bit worse luck than I did, so.
Yeah.
For some reason he thought he had to come back. I understand why, but we had it handled.
Well, for the rest of the viewers, we're out west, and it's really hard to get out east. And so we did what we could to get out to the East Coast Gold Show out in Indianapolis. And the only thing we could find were some flights that would make us have to leave the show just a little bit early. And as we were packing up to go, the people at the Gold Show came over that ran it, the GPAA, and said, "You guys can't go. People love this product. You can't go." And so we were trying to scramble and say, well, how do we keep the booth up? And Ed and Jesse and I don't know your third friend well enough yet.
Dano?
Oh, Dano.
Dano.
Ragnar band.
You guys were awesome. You stepped in for us and took over our booth. And so I'm taking Ken out to the airport, got him on his flight, and I'm realizing, you know, I could, if I had to, stay if I needed to. And I felt so bad leaving you guys out there to tear down and everything. And I didn't want to leave on bad terms with the GPAA. So I turned around and came back. And by the time I got there, you guys had practically already finished.
Yep. We're just about done. Packing
You guys
up.
did well.
Yep.
Well, that's amazing. I can't believe you guys were able to do that and help us out like that on such short notice. So we really appreciate you. And, you know, one thing I want to point out about that is that it really kind of shows the camaraderie in the mining industry, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the same, you know, people have treated me the same way, bringing me in. And, you know, I haven't found, I'm not going to say no bad apples, but there's not that many in the bushel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, bad fruit gets tossed out pretty quick in our community, it seems.
Yeah, they kind of disappear.
I think it's a little different than that. I think good and bad fruit gets tossed out. You just have to hang on tight enough till they figure out you're okay to keep around.
Well, I've been around for a little while, so I guess that's good.
Man, you got to hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
well, you know, you think about what's going on in our world around us right now. You know, I mean, all of our regulations are being, I guess, really super highly, what's the right word? Probably hyper enforced. You know, so we've got all these senators and stuff out there making laws now. They've never stepped a foot on the river, probably never been out of a metropolitan area, and they're trying to infringe on our rights. Well, you know, if we don't bond together and try to solidify one voice going forward, we're not going to be successful, and all of our rights to mine and prospect are going to be taken away from us.
Well, it's not just going to be the miners either. It's going to be any outdoor sportsman, you know,
hikers, campers,
hikers, canoers, you know, fishermen,
and eventually fishermen,
bird watchers,
hunters,
well,
bird
actually,
watchers,
yeah.
They'll
They've already
push
been
all out.
Yeah, nobody go outside. Oh well, you know, yeah, you're right. We got to stick together, and not only right now do we have to fight the overreach of some of these regulations, but also some of the other outdoors people that don't realize it. that this has a trickle down effect, you know. So,
Right.
you know, and that's what, well, that's one of the things that I like about our club, the Buckeye chapter, is the fact that we also have fly fishermen that enjoy our little part of the, you know, part of the world there.
Yeah.
So
our
yeah,
property.
we got,
Yeah, and they've always got a booth set up, you know, whenever there's a bigger function.
right, talking about how they like it.
Yep, and fly fishing and everything they do.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, most of you guys, you know, before you got into prospecting or mining, you know, you were doing something else outside anyway. You were either hunting or fishing or hiking or biking or something, and this just snagged your interest. And so that's where you put your focus. But, you know, I mean, I still hunt and fish and all those things too. And so for me, I'm hypersensitive about what laws and regulations are coming out. And I want to make sure that we as a mining community, even if you're not educated on it, make sure you talk to your friends and the people that you're working with in your clubs and even the GPAA. And I'm going to put a special call out, you know, reach out to AMRA if you don't understand. Shannon Poe and the folks that are out there are doing fantastic things right now to help us out. And they know these laws, they know the regulations, they know what needs to be done. And, you know, call them and get some information, because that'll set you straight on what's going on.
Right. I think most of us here support AMRA because, you know, we've been exposed to them, even though we're out here. The majority of us out here on the East Coast right now. I know we have some other people from other parts of the country, but we do care about. We do realize that will work its way out this way, you know.
Right.
So we do understand the need to join, you know. So
yeah, and like I said, they're just a great resource. So don't forget about them if you do have questions. And they're good people, just like we all are. You know, I mean, we're all kind of like-minded and commonsensical, right? AMRA is very much that way, and they will share their information with you freely. So,
right,
just don't forget they're out there.
You know, we just got to work on people's desire to get into politics more, because nobody in this group is ever political. Ken and I were sitting at Dennis Dayton's campfire, and oh my gosh, it just turned into a political. I swear we were all going to go out and take the charge.
Well, you know, here's the thing. It's not that we're not political. It's my feeling is you're not going to change somebody's mind if it's set to what their views. It's really hard to change a set mind. So it can be a useless proposition to just sit there and argue with somebody who's not even listening to you. So I personally, I don't really talk politics or religion with people. I have my beliefs and I back who I back, you know.
Right.
Well, you know, I was being sarcastic, right?
Yeah, well, I get. See, that's how non-political I get.
I just think it's
Don't
funny.
Get me started.
We could exactly. There you go. See, that's what happened. We're all sitting having a great time, talking about gold, talking about dredging, and we just can't help ourselves.
Well, it's a pretty rough climate right now. I mean, you know, you gotta, you know, you gotta stand for something, I guess.
Well, you know, I think one thing that needs to be pointed out is the bottom line is that we're all passionate about what we do. Whether you're on the left or the right or the middle or out in way left field, it doesn't matter. You know, you're passionate about what you do, and we need to be respectful and mindful that this Constitution that we have in this United States was built upon the fact that everybody should have the freedom to exercise their opinion, and everybody should have the freedom to exercise their way of belief. And, you know, it's just important that we understand that we give them that right, that opportunity. I think, as you guys know, I started the American Prospector as a veterans outlet to help guys get through PTSD. And, you know, you want to know a bunch of guys that are very dedicated to the country and would do anything that they could to help our country remain a superpower and a place of freedom and a place where anybody can come. Those guys are the first to step in line, but they are very diversified in their opinions on, regulations and requirements out there. But that we need to be mindful and respectful of that.
And gold is one of those things that, I don't know if I dare say this, it's kind of like sports. It's something that really bonds you no matter where you're coming from or what your background is.
Agreed.
And that's what I admire about what Ken has done. I mean, he went out and discovered that by working hard out in a river, sluicing and shoveling the ground, finding gold, that he could work that tension that's built up, and as part of that BSD. And so what does he do? Does he just take care of himself? No, he goes out and he brings other people suffering from that same condition and helps them out. And that's really what we're all about. Is we want to. Gold mining is an amazing, beautiful experience. It's magic to find gold. It's magic to find gold, but it's just so positive. There's so many good things that come out of it that the media makes it look as if mining is a bad thing. And so that is really our mission, is to bring people and get them in and help them discover this world of gold, and that it's not a bunch of guys hurting the earth. We're actually out there rebuilding the planet, making it healthier.
Well, that's absolutely pulling all the crap out of it and cleaning up all the poisons out of it.
Ken, how much mercury did you pull out of the California river system by the time you moved to Utah?
As far as poundage, I can't answer that, but what I did is I took my mercury that I was able to collect, and it's both, natural free milling mercury that comes out of the rocks, and stuff that was left over from mining. But I think I took 45 or 47 1-gallon milk jugs down to the hazardous waste to allow them to deal with it.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's a lot.
Out in Washington, Ken, every year at the miners' rally, we turn in all the mercury collected throughout the prospecting year and turn it into the Washington State Department of Natural Resources.
And don't forget, we do that for free.
They actually got an award one year for it, was recognized, news broadcast, and all that stuff. So, but a lot of people outside of our world don't realize that mercury will bleed from cinnabar, especially when it gets hot, and it's a natural occurring substance like arsenic and other stuff. So
and gold.
and gold. It's just one of the byproducts.
We're clearing all those impurities out of the river, like gold.
One of the things
that darn gold.
Metals.
We were at one of the shows here recently, and our booth was set up next to one of the local chapters booths, and I really wish I could remember them because this is worthwhile to note. But they had brought in a 5-gallon bucket, and it was what their club had collected over their last weekend's dig. And I asked them to spread it out because I wanted to see just exactly what they had found. They pulled up a 52 Studebaker headlight casing. They pulled up a can opener and multiple can openers and things like that, multiple fishing line, hook sinkers, the whole 9 yards together. But I think some of the most appalling things were, they found like kitchen utensils, and they found needles and things like that, drug needles and things from people going down there. Now keep in mind, these guys are under no obligation to go out there and clean that up.
That's right.
But they're doing it, and they're doing it for the betterment of the environment that they're working in, and so that they leave the place better than they found it.
We always take our trash and everything we dredge up. Glass, wire, whatever it is.
Right. Absolutely.
If you go to, when we could go to Pirates Cove, you had to take a 5-gallon bucket for the trash.
Yeah, just
just the trash.
Just the trash.
You definitely brought home more trash than gold.
About sinkers and stuff like that. We're talking about
like he said, butter knives, spark plugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, it was there.
Oh yeah, zippers.
They had a couple of hubcaps in there that were old hubcaps.
I think Dennis Staten found an old, from the 50s Zenith TV cover.
Yeah, it was a real old TV.
It's from the 50s. Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
In
amazing.
the
But
dirt.
It's not just the metals and poisons too. I mean the algae buildup. We kind of go in there and act like a 100-year storm that actually revitalizes the life in there.
Right.
Some of that built up algae that actually kills the fish out.
Oh yeah.
well, that's a great point, Clint. In Lincoln, California, when I lived in Auburn, there's a small river that runs down through Newcastle in that area, and we went in there initially and started, dredging and trying to clean it up a little bit. Obviously, we were looking for gold, but we were cleaning as we went. And initially, when I went in there were no aquatic life at all. I mean, not a water skipper, not a, any of those bugs that are underneath the water. There were no fish. Even the birds and stuff were not in that area because there was so much algae on the rocks that they just couldn't live there. I mean, the algae was sucking the oxygen out of the water, basically. After we cleaned that area up, you can go in there now and catch 6-inch trout. Native rainbow trout, cutthroat.
Nice.
And they're finding that with the salmon hatchery too now. All these rivers that are out on the west coast are salmon hatcheries, and they're finding out that the salmon in some cases have stopped running up some of the small tributaries because they're so choked off with silt and other algae and mussels and things like that they've actually stopped going into those areas. Absolutely changing nature's pattern. But remember, we're the guys that do the damage.
Yeah, we're the ones that do all the damage. Like I was saying, that our club allows the fly fishermen to come in and use the property there because it does help with the habitat. The trout especially love them holes that we dig.
Well, they even catch trout when the guys are out there dredging.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, trout have to have that really fine gravel in order to lay their eggs and then, get them fertilized. If they don't have that, they won't do it because they know that it's going to get covered with silt and all that other crud.
Right. And they also need the deep holes to get in that cold water that they need.
Yeah, they need
they're not
water.
Right.
And if you're running equipment, usually they're in your tailings. They're in that little dirty run, eating.
Yep. Eating. Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, having some food, eating all the stuff you're turning over for them.
What's really neat is when you see a bigger fish come in and get one of those grubs, or not grubs, but one of the minnows.
Pelgramites and minnows. Yeah.
Eaten at the back of your box.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So Ed, not to change topics on you, but what do you guys got going on out there anytime soon?
Winter.
Winter, yeah.
Like
Winter.
Salt Lake City, a lot of snow and ice.
And that's
Maybe
What are you
one
going to
more
do during the
time to the
winter?
Well, I'll be working on In the Shed with Ed episodes, and I'm going to be building a rocker box this year for In the Shed with Ed, and planning on stuff so those plans could fall apart and we do something else.
Yeah, I'll be just, I don't know, working on my house, I guess, like usual. That's what I do in the winter.
Well, we've got some pretty interesting things going on over the next little while here with Gold Claw. I know we talked about while we were out there, we showed you the prototypes for the pocket pen. You guys have been playing with those for a little while now. What do you think?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I really like it. I was playing with the one Jesse had for a while, and then
I think we all had that one.
Then I'm glad
Yeah, I kept taking it. I kept disappearing on me. Where's it at? Oh.
Yeah, that was.
But you know
fun.
what? That was the only pen I was using after you gave that to me. Take over there. That was all I was using. Showing people. Like I said, I'd crowded in front of other people while they're using their pens, and I'm going through it. All done. Oh, look, there's a piece of gold. So that was kind of fun. And people were getting. I think you had what, 8 pans or something like that over in the panning trough.
Right.
You know,
And they were pretty much always in use.
Yeah, sometimes we had people wanting to use them and we didn't have any for them to use.
right.
And we're like, you'll have to wait. So, but, yeah.
You guys got to see the prototype and play with it, but I don't know if this is going to work. Let me try turning on video. Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got our production units right off the floor. I mean, right off the press as of last night. And I'm sitting here in a hotel, but let's see if I can get enough light. Where's my video button?
You should have
Wherever
right
your
next
mute
to
is.
your-
I see maybe I need to make the thing bigger.
You do.
It'd
There
be
we
at
go.
the
That
bottom.
was it.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. So I'm in a hotel. In fact, I'm going to show you one more thing. Hang on here. This is going to. So I'm in this hotel. I'm going over to my window. I want you to see my view.
Oh, okay.
My window. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yep.
See the Bow River down there?
Yeah.
It's just killing me. I got to get down there and pan that thing. They've got to have some gold here in Calgary. I'm up in Canada.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can share this.
You got good lighting right there in front of you.
Alberta, there's gold in Alberta.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know if you can see that one all right. I'm trying to get some light on this thing.
Stand it up. Stand it up long ways.
He's
There
in
you go.
Canada,
This
eh?
way?
Yeah, there you go. Now you can see the whole thing. Turn it around. Spin it around so we can see the inside.
Whole thing before.
Well, I couldn't.
So there's the purple one. Who likes
Purple
purple?
one.
Who likes blue?
Ooh, pretty.
Don't those look great? They
Oh,
are
yeah.
gorgeous. I mean, compare that to the one the prototype, right?
I still like the clear.
Now, are they
No,
made
they're
of the
different.
same material as the prototype, Clint?
Hey,
So
Jesse,
here's
take a look
clear.
at that here.
So this is what clear really looks like. This is what your prototype looks like. Totally
Oh,
different
yeah.
animal.
And those are the same material, same.
Same material, same exact
Okay.
material. One has colorant, one doesn't.
Yeah, see, I like the clear one.
Yeah, I really like the clear gold claw myself. So.
I am partial to the clear myself. I'm between clear and purple. Purple does have some unique properties.
Well, you know what I like about the clear one is that when you put it in the water, the gold really sticks out. It seems like it shows a lot better when it's in the water.
I feel connected to the whole process when I have clear. I don't know why. I can see the river. I can see all my material.
Yeah,
I just
you
like
see
it better.
everything.
The neat thing about purple is purple, well, like blue, if you put gold in blue, I think that's the best color for highlighting the gold. The only problem with that is it kind of hides the black sands. And so if you've got a thick spot, it covers up some of your gold. You don't really know it until you shake the pan. But if you put that in purple, you can see the gold almost as good, but the black sands really pop. And then you can see your thick spots. You can thin them out and find those hiding
from what
specks of gold.
from what I understand, the different colors, different people can see the gold better in different colors. Like Dennis, he says he actually can see the gold better in his pan with the purple as opposed to other colors.
Well, you know, pink is known for being better for colorblind people. Maybe purple has that same effect.
Could be. Everybody sees color a little different, I guess. You know.
I know. Ken. What we all think is blue, Ken's eyes translates that to pink, right, Ken?
It's actually
that's why he likes blue so much.
The purple actually is more of a pink color to me. I'm red green colorblind.
I was trying to make a joke there, Ken.
That's
You're gonna have
serious. Understand your humor at some point.
Clint, you've been having problems with that tonight, haven't you?
My
Trying to make
humor?
jokes.
That started 50 years ago, my friend.
Well, since how you're talking about the colors and the pocket pan, Clint, I think it's important to, let the viewers know right now, or the listeners that are out there. Right now we are fully funded to get the Kickstarter off the ground, but we're fully funded for 2 colors only. And so we're thinking that the 2 colors that we can offer right now are going to be clear and purple. But if we can get funded, we have a stretch goal set, and if we can get funded for that whole stretch goal, then we can offer all of the colors that we offer in the original digs. So I don't know if you want to expand on that, Clint.
Well, that's really just it, is that to be able to have inventory, it costs money, and each color is a whole new set of inventory. And so as that Kickstarter goes up in price, we'll be able to add more colors. And right now we're confident we're going to have blue and clear. We're pretty confident we're going to get to purple, and we hope to reel in at least green, but we'll see how that goes.
Now with the little one, the mini claw,
The pocket.
the pocket pan, the pocket claw.
Yeah.
Now, are the purple, any of that gonna go to Wounded Warrior also?
Purple goes to Wounded Warrior. Yep.
Even if it's pocket pan or the regular gold claw.
We haven't actually made that public, but that's always been my intention.
Okay, well, okay, you guys didn't hear that out there until they make it public.
Well, I think you just did.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we just
want to
did.
thank you from the bottom of my heart for carrying that forward, Clint.
yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
appreciate it too, because I'm a veteran myself, a Vietnam veteran. So yeah, I appreciate that too.
Well,
Well,
I'm
thank
not
you.
a veteran, but my dad is, and I have a lot of very close friends who are, and I just respect them in every way.
You and I are on the same boat. Clint.
I was stunned at one of our gold shows. I don't know if I should bring this up now or not, but I had, bless his heart, he comes up and they go, I heard that you're giving $1 away for the purple pans. And I'm like, absolutely. And he goes, well, that's not fair. What about us non-veterans? What do we get for a reward? And I'm just like, we can't say it the way Ken puts it on air, can we?
No.
Beep, beep, beep.
Unless you got a really long beep button, because it's going to take about 5 minutes.
Well, this is not my way, in case you haven't noticed yet, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Uh-oh.
Ken says it looked like I ate a turd.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Clint, we can only say that in Utah.
well, I'll tell you this, not being a veteran, I would have find that offensive to those who put themselves in harm's way and who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country and other people's countries and other people's freedoms. They have gone out of their way to give the ultimate sacrifice. You would have, I'm sure I would have been a lot more harsh.
But
Well-
for all the veterans out there, I want to say something. If I'd have had bail money and wasn't worried about being ready to go to jail, I probably would have taken care of that individual.
Well,
I could understand why, Ken.
I don't understand the perspective, because we are not rewarding veterans. We're not like giving them benefits. There's nothing we can do to pay that back. It's not a reward. This is a thank you. We're saying thank you for you sacrificing, not just for me, but for all the people around. It's a thank you. It's not a reward. And he's sitting there saying, why don't I get one too? And I'm looking at him like, what have you done for everybody in this room? Let's hear it. Start talking. You've built your whole life around yourself. These guys have gone out and done that for us, and they put their life on the line. Anyway, now I'm getting a little wound up, and that's not normally the way.
Remember, we weren't going to talk politics and beliefs.
Yeah,
For good
I
because
get
though, for
we
good
just
reason.
never go there.
with me, I get emotional when people start talking like that because, you know, even though, and sometimes it's my own guilt feelings, even though I really wasn't in the battle per se, or what I did was an important job. And when people say, "What do I get?" my thought is, you get to live here, and you get to ask that stupid question. You know?
I want to echo that just for a second, Jess, is that, you know, regardless of whether you actively served or not, or whether you were actually in the military or not, it's your desire and your intent to keep this country what it is that makes a difference. And so, you know, for Clint and Jesse, or for Clinton and Ed and those that haven't served, you know, I know that you guys, had you been in a different position, all would have been glad to serve, or if they had drafted us, we would have all gone. You know,
Right.
so that's
Well, I was drafted. I was in Vietnam, and I did my job. I sometimes I'll meet somebody who says, "Man, I wish I would have gone. I wish I would have been there. I wanted to be there so bad, but this or that." And I just tell them, "No, be glad you didn't make it because it wasn't fun.
That's right.
You know, it wasn't up to you. You know, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to feel bad about. I mean, it's one thing, you know, not wanting to go and maybe going to Canada or doing whatever it was you're going to do to get out of it. It's another thing to want to go and not be able to go. You know, because those people, I'm sure they even have guys at my generation who wasn't allowed to go for whatever reason. They feel bad because they didn't get to go. And, you know, so, yeah. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the gold claw.
Yeah, so, you know, one thing I'll just put out there with the gold claw, you know, we just released the pocket pan, and we're really hoping that, like I said, the funding comes through so that we can offer more colors. But on the back side of that, Clint has already introduced down in Vegas the dozer, which is our larger production pan. You know, it's got the potential of holding 1.5 gallons of material at a time. You can really stream through a whole bunch of material really, really fast. And we plan on releasing that probably. We're going to launch the Kickstarter right away. And then as soon as the Kickstarter for the Pocket Pan closes, we'll launch that one. And then probably by the beginning of next year, we'll be into production on that one as well. So that kind of completes our pan offering, right? But everybody keeps saying to me, "Hey, Ken, what else is coming?"
We're never satisfied, are we?
That's what keeps us, you know, solving problems, right? And Clint is the master of problem solving when it comes to design. So, Clint, I'm going to turn it back over to you real quick. What do you see coming in our future?
You know, you asked that like you already know the answer, and I'm sitting there thinking, what are you talking about? There are so many directions that can go. I think you might be going this direction though. Gold Claw is not a simple idea that turned into a single product that somebody said, I wish I could get this to market, and we went out and introduced it, and now we're looking around going, what next? There's a long plan here of multiple things that are coming out, and I'm not sure I want to announce everything that's coming out, but let's just put a little perspective on that. Our goal is first of all, we're going to introduce what's called the map, and this map maps every phase you typically go through to get from somebody who's just enthusiastic about gold, wondering what it would be like to try it, to somebody who's getting out there, panning, finding their first piece, to somebody who's getting their first river sluice, starting to get a little volume, starting to fill up a vial, to a high banker, to what's next, right? A dredge, and then trommel, and eventually into professional production, which is where I came from out of Alaska, to where you're running 25 yards an hour and then 200 to 400 yards an hour. We're going to take you all the way along. But obviously, it starts with a pan. We always say it starts and ends with a pan. So we're starting with the pan. But on the heels of this, we want to make it really simple for people to know what's next. And it doesn't have to be our products. We are going to help people find products that you can step right into and be successful at each one of these evolutionary phases across the map until, if you choose, you're all the way into full-blown production professional mining. And
so are you talking about equipment that you're going to design and build, or other people's products?
Some of it we're going to design and build, and some of it we're going to go out there and research it and get the here's how-to instructions so you can just walk right into it. Well, I don't want to try and invent everything if there's good stuff already out there. But I'll tell you this much, where I think Ken was going. We have some machinery that's actually where I spent my years up in Alaska developing that is phenomenal. And it's gonna change things. And so that we're hoping to introduce next year.
So you're talking about taking some of that bigger equipment and scaling it down?
Exactly.
Or what was that?
That's exactly it. We're going to take some of that bigger equipment and scale it down so that you can get to it earlier in that progression. Because if you jump straight into the equipment that I was building out there, I mean, my biggest machine I made ran 600 yards per hour worth of material. That's too big for people to jump right into.
Yeah.
Go down a step, it's 100 yards an hour. And that's my favorite machine, just so you know. I'd rather run 4 of those than one big 600 one, 6 of them. But then scale that down, and these machines create tremendous amounts of concentrates. How do you get through that? If you're sluicing at 100 yards an hour, you've got a week's worth of cons, and it's not just the black sands, it's the worst of the black sands that we're able to stay behind. Nasty stuff. So another one of the machines that we developed up there is designed to take that super fine gold out of those nasty, awful black sands. And that right there is almost small enough you can jump into it, but Ken is pushing me to scale it down one more time and make it so it's very easily achievable for the average person to go out and just pick one up and get going with it.
Right.
So that's what we're working on next
the majority,
year.
You know, you do have your large-scale miners, but like the gold that's still left, 90% of the mining is done by a lot of little guys, you know,
right,
all over the place.
Well, and even the systems that are out there are not very efficient. We took that device that separates the fine gold from the black sand, from the heavies. We call them heavies, right? That's the stuff that's left over in the bottom of the sluice.
Right.
We went up to, well, first of all, we started in the Fairbanks area, and we were noticing people were losing about 30% of their gold just trying to separate it from those heavies. And so then we said, well, that's interesting. What about other places? So we went up to other places and reached out and found the exact same thing. We found between 30 to 40% of people's gold was being lost out there finishing equipment.
So
and this thing was able to catch it.
Is that something they considered as acceptable losses?
Absolutely. It's
or
called,
is it something they had to?
It's the law of diminishing returns. The effort it takes for them to get that last 30% is so great that it's better to move on and just keep getting the stuff you can get.
So to that point, we just had a conversation with David Urich not too long ago at one of the shows, and David is the creator of the Spin It Off, and he had an opportunity to go up to Alaska on Steve Pomrinke's property where they actually do the cleanup, and he was able to claim. Do you remember how many ounces it was, Clint?
Didn't he get 3 ounces?
It was something like 3 or 5 ounces. You know, and that's coming out of the stuff that they just throw out on the driveway because it's too hard to get to and too much effort, so they just throw it out on the driveway.
So Steve Pomrinke gets the gold out that he can, and he takes what's left over and throws it on his driveway, and then Spin It Off guy goes out there and digs around in his driveway and walks away with 3 to 5 ounces of gold. That's what's going on.
Pardon me, guys. Know what I was just thinking of just now when they said driveway.
Yeah, John Shaw.
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't he die to have a driveway that rich, huh?
No
Yeah.
kidding. I can't do that with my driveway. How about you?
No, no, no.
No, but we have a friend that can, but not that much.
I've got a spot on my 1 acre piece of ground here where I spilled a pan you might have some luck with. But I'm not telling you where I spilled the pan. You got to find it.
I doubt it's 3 to 5 ounces. I'm not worried about it.
Would you be
No, so-
interested in taking any phone calls?
Sure. That would be great.
Why don't we do that after a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and take some phone calls. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
All
Love
right, we'll be right
Don't
back.
Don't forget to shut off the chat.
All right, we're back. Oh, doggone cat. Get down off my desk. Sorry, everybody.
Easy, buddy, easy.
You are talking to your cat, right?
Right at the worst time, Lucky jumps up under my mic in front of one of my computers. Lucky, don't you ever do that. Can't you read the light? It says live. Leave us alone.
Oh boy.
I know my cat can read, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, mine either.
All right, well, hopefully someone will call in and have some good questions for either you, Clint, or you, Ken.
Well, Ronald, I got a question. Ronald posted a question a minute ago.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to know how fast how fast can you run a 5-gallon bucket of material through, did he say the pocket one?
Yeah, the pocket
Yes,
one.
through
Yeah.
the pocket.
pocket.
can.
I have
That took
not.
a long time.
I haven't done the test on that yet, but Clint could probably do some math pretty quick. I ran a 5-gallon bucket with just a pan in 7 minutes and 48 seconds with our regular gold claw. So if you did an evaluation on the amount of material in each, you could figure that out. But I wouldn't want to work a 5-gallon bucket with a pocket pan. I would want to work a 5-gallon bucket with gold claw, and then use my all my cons in the pocket pan.
Yeah.
That'd be the thing to do.
Yeah, the pocket pan's really
I'm
small.
still stunned at the question.
Listen, we love Ronald to death.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
Yes,
Ronald
we
is
do.
much like Clint, and he's going to throw a challenge at us. I can feel it coming.
I'm gonna say it's gonna take you 24 hours, because here's how you do it. You look at your pocket pan, you look at the 5-gallon bucket, and then you go get on Google. You find gold claw. You buy a normal gold claw. It shows up the next morning. You pull it out of your thing and you pan it in 7 minutes.
There you go.
all right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Oh.
You might have your microphone on mute, caller.
Hello, caller. Oh, well. Lights are on, but no one's home. All right, well, that was quick. All right.
So, you know, one thing maybe for some of your listeners out there, Ed, if they're looking for something they want to ask or talk about, I have a question for them. If they have a gold claw already, how are they using it and what are their results? What are they thinking about?
All right.
Yeah,
well,
that's a
we
good
have
question.
Caller
Hey,
back. Caller,
let's.
where are you calling?
This is Jonathan Parrett. This is
Okay.
Hook from Hookmyster Prospecting Outdoors.
Hey,
Hi,
Jonathan.
Clint.
Hello.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, good to meet you.
Can you turn down
Hey,
your
yeah.
volume, please, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm not nowhere close to it, but I'll back up, and I've got it turned down. Is that better?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Can we
you
get a
guys were out of my...
feedback?
Okay, let me go to the other room then,
No,
because
you're
I got
good.
her
No,
shut
you're
down.
good.
You're good now. You're good now. Just we were getting feedback before.
Okay, I was probably just too close. But anyway, I didn't really have a question, but I want to tell you guys thanks for coming out over the weekend when you were in Indiana at the Goat Show, and I hope you guys enjoyed your visit. But anyway, I am looking forward to getting your products. I did see Ken, I think, I'm bad with names, but Ken got out there barefooted in the weather and did a little bit of demonstration, and I got to see part of it, but I would like to, it's definitely interesting products. That pocket pan is just all awesome, because I carry like 5 pans in my vehicles at all times, so that thing's just crazy from what I've seen. So I hope to get one of those here in the future.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that, because I mean, Ron's right. You want to be able to go through a 5-gallon bucket fast, but that's really what the original Gold Claw is for, is volume. This one is for, you don't know if you're going to pan or not. You want something in your glove box or something you can just throw in your coat real quick, or in my case, I keep it in my laptop bag.
Well, mine's in my center console of my car.
So it's handy, but it's for having it there when you need it. But it's not just for that. It's also for if you're panning nasty black sands, you've got your heavies and you're going 1 teaspoon at a time. We've all been there before.
Oh yeah.
And why sit there with a massive 18-inch pan to do a teaspoon? Right? You got to have that thin layer to get down to that super micro fine if you're dealing with that nasty stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Pull out the pocket pan. It's perfectly sized for it, and it holds on to the gold like nothing else, so do it with that. And then it's also for, like, if you're crevicing, where you're not trying to fill a huge pan, you're trying to get that scoop from between the rocks. And so scrape it down into your pocket pan. So it's more of a... Yeah, it's really an exciting tool that's always there with you for these little jobs that it just doesn't make sense to do it with a big pan, or you don't want to carry it around with you all the time.
And like I said, what I seen what you guys were doing, it was just I don't know how to say it. It was very unique because, as you've seen, we had tons of very fine black sands and stuff, and that product here in Indiana, definitely, and I can't say a whole lot for other areas other than Indiana, Ohio, and a couple other places I've been, but that product, with the way it was working, it looked really, really nice. So
I'll tell you what, Jonathan, I did some beach sands from Juneau using that pan, and I want to tell you, I was able to separate that black sand from the gold and actually snuff her up clean gold, because that sand from Juneau, or that gold from Juneau, is so fine. It's talcum powder fine. It wants to float on you. So
it wants to blend in with the black sands.
But those little ripples in that cleanup side catch that gold, and you wind up with just lines of gold on there, especially that Juneau stuff. You've seen how they show the cube up. See, I think it was AU Grabber.
Yeah.
He used the cube on his dredge, and you see the line, all that gold lined up on there. That's the way the gold claw works too. Because when you get rid of that black sand, all those little ridges that are in there are just filled with gold. It's all clean. All the black sand's gone. That's what I liked about it. I mean, it was the easiest thing I have found to separate the black sands from the gold and wind up mostly clean gold.
That's what I was paying attention to because, I mean, I didn't get real close when he was doing his demonstration because I was talking more to Klint than I was Ken at that moment, you know, kind of giving him an overall of the property that he was on down there at Little Piece of Paradise. But it was what I seen of it was it's a nice piece of equipment. I mean, and it's so simple. So I'm glad guys like you that are also out there fighting for public lands and landowners to protect landowners and getting kids out there. That's a biggie to me because it's not just about the products. You guys got a bigger picture. It's keeping everything available to people that should be available. So, and that's a biggie to me.
Well, thank you, Jonathon. We appreciate your acknowledgement of that. And, you know, I want to say to the viewers out there, you know, we went down on this property that Jonathon was gracious enough to offer us an opportunity with Dennis Dayton to come down on. And it's a phenomenal piece of ground down there. Some of the gold that I saw these guys have reclaimed down there was just, I was drooling a little bit, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there myself.
But it really is a nice property, and if you guys are interested, get a hold of Jonathon. I'm sure he'd hook you up.
Yeah, and there are more properties that come. So, and there I got a wide variety, and like I said, I am definitely going to get all varieties of your guys' pans because each one of my properties are almost a little different because Indiana is it's just crazy how the gold lies and stuff because, you know, it's not vein fed, it's placer gold. So your pans definitely look like they will hit and do good for each scenario that I think I'm running into with the different properties that I have. Like the crevice properties, you know, I mean, you got that bigger, coarser black sands, then you get that stuff it's like molasses, and the pans, from what I've seen with the couple people that had them down there, and then your prototype that you guys let us have a glance of, really is very unique, and I think it's going to help out a lot.
Well, I could spend an hour just talking about all the features in the pan, and I've never been able to, in any video or anywhere, talk about everything that's built into here. There's all these undocumented features, but we put different features in here so that we were able to trap your fine sands, your typical, or your fine gold, your typical gold, and your nuggets. We don't want any of that to get away from this pan. And we want it so that even a beginner who's using this thing, they don't have to know all the tips and tricks to keep the fine gold or to make sure they don't lose nuggets. We want this pen to do the science for them.
That's interesting because I've had one person tell me that they didn't really care for it that much because they were losing their bigger gold, you know. And what I told them is you just got to keep practicing with it until you figure your tool out. That's the one thing I always say. Every piece of equipment is going to do what it's supposed to do if you learn how to use that tool. You know,
were they losing their big gold, or were they worried they were losing?
So
that's a good question.
Because I've had a lot of people say, you're going to lose this or you're going to lose that, and then I find out they've never even tried one. They're just imagining what would happen if you take the motion you see in the videos on this thing and do it with a standard pan, you're going to lose your gold. They are not designed to do what this thing does.
Well, just like with equipment, you need to tune in your technique just like you tune in your equipment. This is the bottom line. I mean, you guys say it perfectly when you say you got to reteach yourself, because from what I was seeing, it's totally different, you know, because like myself, I started with the old metal pipe.
Yeah, me too.
Pan,
I was a kid with a metal
and
pipe
I've
pan.
upgraded up to what we got now. Now you guys are introducing this whole new system. You got to learn it, and you got to reteach yourself. I mean, the bottom line is, or unteach yourself, as you guys say it, which is actually a good way. So, and I've seen it. I'm going to tell everybody out there that's listening right now. Like I said, I wasn't real up close, but I did see it in action in Ken's hand, barefooted in 50-degree water, in the dark. So, you know, he's definitely fit for this kind of stuff, but it was unique the way they did it. It was definitely a whole new learning experience just from what I've seen. I can't wait to put one in my hand and get to use it. So, because I do both. I do the round, but yet right as I get ready to get rid of the blondes, I do that side to side just before I get to my blondes, you know, to get them off there. So I think I can retrain myself to do it. So I can't wait to do it. So
it doesn't take long. You just have to try.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you the same piece of advice that I gave everyone else. Just like when you went out and bought that first pan that was so near and dear to your heart, you sat out there and practiced with it and practiced with it and practiced with it until you got the method down.
Yep.
You know, the gold claw, I'm going to tell you this right now, as somebody who's been prospecting for a while, the gold claw, even if you use it incorrectly, is still going to catch gold. If you tried the same mistakes in a conventional pan, you wouldn't keep your gold. So, you know, don't be afraid to use this thing. When we say go vertical with it, truly go vertical with it. You want to slowly start, you know, get a state of liquefaction going, or what most people have referred to as stratifying your material. That initial piece is so critical. And then as you start to go side to side with it and start tilting it forward with a simple shake method, you'll find out that everybody starts out a little tentatively. Again, Klint will tell you, when I first did this, I didn't use the pan properly and I didn't understand it. But after he showed me the principles of it, it made absolute sense, and it made absolute no sense to take my classifier, my bucket, my shovel, all of that stuff up on a prospecting trip. You know, prospecting is getting in and sampling. I call it running and gunning. You know, I go into one area, I sample 5 or 6 spots, I put whatever my findings are together in a bag, and I write the GPS coordinates on it, and I go on to the next spot. That's the key with prospecting, and that's the key to finding good gold. Most miners that I am aware of either go to a place, and I'll call them, you know, our enthusiast type miners, right? Not the hardcore 400 yard an hour guys, but most of us have we've either heard of a place that has gold in it, and so we go down there and we fumble around trying to find the right place, and we set up our equipment typically in the wrong place to start with. And we have to kind of go learn, right? Well, that's what the gold claw does for you, is it takes out the need to go down there and fumble around with everything for hours. You go in, you sample, you find out where the gold is, and now you set up your equipment and get into production.
And you get those samples fast. You're not spending. Now, if you're a good panner, 2 to 3 minutes is typical. But think about that. If you could do it in 30 seconds at each location instead of 2 to 3 minutes, how much more ground can you cover, and can you find the hot spot?
Yeah, because now I take a dredge, I put it in a creek, I punch 9 holes in a pattern, and then I go from there when I start looking. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Speed up, lower your cost, and everything else. So.
With me, I've only used it in controlled situations where I got a pan. I'm not really worried about losing the gold that much. But now that I have been using it, like I 3 days straight, all day, I'm getting the hang of it. So I'm getting to the point now where I'm ready to go out there and just look. I'm confident in the pan at this point. Because even this last weekend, I learned something new on it. Something that I'm not going to say I was doing wrong. I just was too tentative with it, So now that I was shown a little bit more on it, that now I feel a little bit more confident going out there and prospecting and knowing I'm going to catch the gold if I find it. If I'm using this pan.
It's it's like at their booth in their tub. When I did that
Right.
demo for those few people, I ain't experienced that big rock like that falling out of there. That was kind of a change.
Yeah, even for me.
With us, it's just sand and small gravels, and I dipped that pan down there and picked it up. I thought, wow, look at this. Okay.
You have to classify to be effective in a classic pan.
Yes.
In this system, you don't use washing.
We got feedback from Klint.
Mine's feeding back.
No, not
Sound
now.
good now.
I'm on mute, so I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
But basically,
Oh.
this system uses displacement, and so it doesn't care what the size of your material is. They just push up and out like anything else. Where when you're doing washing, it's suspension. It's the drag of the water pulling it out, and that cares how
Right.
big your rock is and how much it weighs. And you can even pull your
Well-
gold out if you don't classify it, because you're trying to get the big rocks out, and you start putting enough energy into it that it starts to drag your gold out, your finer gold out with it. And so
Yeah, that's the one
take
thing you always hear,
experience to get it
That's
right.
the
Classification,
conditions I painted in yet was in your tub.
And it is critical when you're using washing or any form of water motion, like a sluice even, benefits best from classification.
Right.
Now this
Well-
pocket pan, it is not a toy. I mean, people look at it and say, hey, that's for kids. It's not. This is a
But
serious
it
prospecting
works great
tool.
for kids.
It's
the right
it's
size.
awesome for kids, and it's awesome for beginners because for pros you go from 2 to 3 minutes down to 30 seconds. That's an improvement, but you can still live within 2 to 3 minutes. For beginners, you go from 30 minutes to an hour down to under a minute. That's a paradigm shift for them. So
Right.
Oh yeah.
we talk a lot
definitely.
about the beginners, but it's really for everybody. This is a
And
serious
it's heavy
prospecting
duty too.
tool that you go out there and you find where the good gold is with it.
And I can
Well,
tell you,
like I said, I'm just gonna get off here so other people have a chance to call in. But I want to say thanks for you guys coming down. I love the demonstration. I'm definitely interested in the product, and I will be definitely investing those for myself. Both your guys' big, the claw and the pocket version, both because I tell you what, just what I seen. And like I said, I wasn't up close, but I know it didn't take him long. And I think he found a speck or two, and that was in a dredged area. So, I mean, that's all good. And that's what you want to see. You want quick results. So, thank you guys for stopping by. And remember, everybody, fight for our public lands, fight for landowner protection. And let's get our kids outside as much as possible and let them learn this stuff, and let's keep this stuff open for everyone. That's a biggie with me. And this is Jonathon Parrett from Hookmyster Prospecting Outdoors, and I hope to see you guys back again. I hope to make it out somewhere toward you guys in the spring. So.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Jonathon. You were so good to us out there. First time out east, you really made us feel welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Hook.
Well, that was a great call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hook.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get out to his property. We were supposed to go out there over the weekend, but they needed us for Sunday, so we stuck around for
Yeah,
Sunday.
we were going to go down there Sunday, but our chapter needed us.
Hey,
That'll
don't you have
that'll
a
have to
don't
be
you
a
have a
spring
video?
weekend.
Don't you have a video we could share
Yeah, actually I do.
so people can see this thing in use?
Well, I have one of a small young man playing with the pocket pan over the weekend at the gold show.
Yep.
Cool.
Let me cue it up, and it's a little bit it's how long? 2 minutes and what?
2 minutes. 2 minutes, 12 seconds.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Here it
Maybe we can
is.
skip through it a little bit.
I don't know if I can in my broadcasting program, so, but I can turn it off. Here we go.
Keep going there forward.
Keep going forward.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he was having problems with even the small pan was kind of big for him. So I handed him over that and said, "Here, use this." So and like I said, he got right as that was the motion he was doing from the get-go. And you see his brother over there on the right, he was having problems with it.
You want to knock
And
all
his
that
mom's
sand
using the
out of
pink
there.
one over
You
there.
want it to come up the front.
Look at him go.
But I couldn't get him to tilt the pan over far enough to dump all the material out. He was a little scared too, because I think he panned before. He's been trying to learn to pan, and, you know. And I'm trying to explain to him, you got to keep tilting it forward, keep tilting it forward. Right.
For the kids, it would be easier if it was spacing there.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
See if it seems like he wants it so badly.
Come out front of it.
Keep going.
Right.
Keep going. Tell us some more. Tell us some more.
Yeah. But he took to it like it was natural. I mean, that was.
Yeah, look at him go.
Oh yeah. He did good.
Black sand. Oh, I saw a piece in there. I thought. In me?
So now we'll go to this side.
That's awesome.
Now we'll go to this side here, right?
It's fun to watch him get into it like
You
that.
start real slow.
Oh yeah, it was. I was just having a ball.
The more you do it, the better you'll get, and the faster you'll get.
See it?
Just keep going. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you're
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. He didn't. I unfortunately he didn't really find any gold, and it wasn't because he dumped it out. It was because he just didn't get a scoop that had gold in it. But we took care of him.
Yeah, I
we got
noticed
him
that
fixed up.
towards the end of the day, it was hard to find any scoop with gold in it.
Yes,
Yes, it
it
was.
was.
Those,
Well, yeah.
I think
if
those
you would've
morning
seen-
panners were working hard, working up a sweat.
Yeah, but
You haven't-
Saturday morning the painters got big gold. There was gold
Oh,
that would
yeah,
go
they
up
got
their
big
snuffer
gold.
bottle. They got big gold.
I've
Wow.
seen some of the pictures of some of the people that were there, and yeah, everybody did well, especially the first day.
I was on.
Well,
mute.
Ken, I'll let you know. Ken had to go. He oversees a whole bunch of series manufacturing sites, and apparently somebody got crunched, so he had to drop off and go take care of them.
Well, I hope they're okay. And,
Yeah, I hope so too. So he's going to go down and do his day job.
all right. Well, like earlier when you were talking, Ken was talking about getting toward the vertical end of the panning with the claw. There were people that were like, I was past vertical before I switched it over to the finish side, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna lose your gold! You're gonna lose your gold!" And I'm
Not
like,
with that pocket pan.
oh no, this was in the normal, in the larger gold claw, and I'm like, look at that lip on there, and I bring it up and I showed them gold in it, and it was small gold, and they're like, wow, that is deep. That held that, and I said, oh yeah. And then I cleaned it up and snuffed it out, clean gold.
Yeah, we tell people to go to vertical, but you can go way past vertical. It just doesn't buy you much because you don't get much more out when you go past vertical. But it can hold on to it even well past.
I go way past, not way past vertical, but before I flip it over to the finish side, I am beyond vertical, and
it works great.
Well, you'd show a lot of people how to do it, and they didn't want to go vertical. They'd go about halfway, and they'd stop and like, no, keep tipping it, keep tipping it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, now that's the difference between a beginner and somebody with a little experience. Is people with experience know how easy that gold gets out of the gold pan. And so when they're the ones, if you've used a gold pan at all, they're the ones that are nervous. Ooh, I don't know if I dare go all the way vertical. You take a beginner who has no concept, and you say, you just keep shaking the material out till it's gone, and you're vertical. They just do that, and they get good gold, and they go fast.
And, you know, there was a couple that was there that we showed, and they ended up winning 2 gold claws in the raffle.
Right.
But they liked them. They really liked them, so they made out. They got 2 gold claws like they liked.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we always invite them to come back over and try them out in the pan or in the trough. So it's
one
fun
of
to
the things
meet
that
the winners.
one of the things that I did that was really cool was people would use it, right? And they'd have maybe 1 or 2 little specks sitting there near the back. I say, watch this, and I start tapping the pan. And all of a sudden, all the gold starts coming out of that black sand and going to the back of the pan. They go, wow, all that was in there? I said, yeah, all that was in there. It was all up underneath that lip. You know, so just because you see that 1 or 2 pieces, that's not always what's going to be there.
We call that the jaw drop moment.
Oh, yeah.
You just finished, and they're looking at it going, okay. And then you give it a few taps, and out comes all that gold, and they're just like, what?
Right, because you see it walking out.
It
comes walking out, 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. You see a whole line of gold, you know, just coming out of that front lip, and they're just going, wow. Oh, that was fun to watch, and you're right, there was some, wow, really?
Yeah.
Because that was the exact same thing I said the first time I did it. So let me see, tap, 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 and I'm watching all this gold just come walking out of that black sands. I'm going, yeah, that's what I like seeing.
So back to politics. When I'm president, I'm going to outlaw swirling. Swirling and swirling and swirling to finally see your specks of gold. I have no patience for that. And so this pan has a perfectly flat bottom, specifically because that's the best environment for tapping your gold out. If you put any curve in there, it messes up the tapping. And so you can tap from front to back and get it out quick. And if you have stubborn stuff, you can tap from left to right and get a long runway and have nothing but pure, clean gold in just a matter of moments.
Right. See, that to me, I get frustrated panning, especially the real fine stuff. And, you know, of course, that's what we get. I get frustrated. I have to put the pan down for a while, you know, the big round pan. But with this thing, I don't get frustrated. I get tired.
You mentioned a good point. In all the videos, almost all the videos, we show tilting the pan forward. And then you're kind of peeking over the top to see what you're doing. A kid came up once and flipped it the other way and did the same motion but tilting towards themselves, and it worked beautifully. So that's an alternate way to use this, is just tilt it towards yourself, and then you can watch all the action.
There are times when that's the way I do it, because sometimes it's because of the sunlight too. You know, just depends. I'll turn it around, face it towards me, and it works both ways. So I noticed something about the new pan too. On that end where you got the little ridges, you also got another place for the gold to get caught back in that corner.
Right.
You know, so that was that's a nice added feature to that. I'm pretty
well. There's a couple things to talk about there. You go ahead and finish your thought, and then I'll answer it.
Well, yeah, because I believe that the regular size gold claw, the original ones don't have that lip down at that very edge.
Correct.
So everything's flat there.
So let me ask you: did we finally get it right?
Did I finally?
Did we making the pan? I'm joking about that because people who hadn't used this before would take a look at it, or just the first time on it, and they would say, "I'm going to lose the gold out those sides." And it doesn't take long playing with this to learn that the gold stays right in the middle where it should be. But then there's another dilemma where, and I'm going to just tell anybody who has one right now, they keep forgetting that I say this, so try not to forget this time. You don't wash the gold back from those outer ridges to the inside of the pan. If you try and wash it back, it will kick it out towards the sides. You just shake the pan to get it to fall back into the center. And so, being an engineer, I say, don't use it that way. But unfortunately, I also worked in tech support for a while. And they taught us that, you know what, if they're using it that way, you need to design it for that. And so I finally gave in, and I said, okay, even though you don't need them, I'm going to give you those ridges because everybody keeps asking about it. So that is why we put that ridge out there. So in case you try and wash it back in, it'll keep your gold from sneaking away from you. But
well, I noticed that when I'm working that really fine end, the end of the pan with the fine ridges there,
yeah,
that when I tap it, all my black sands go to the large side. They don't go straight back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's because of the way I'm holding it or that's just the nature of it.
It is the way you're holding it. Where you hold it and where you tap it determines where it goes. Okay. But you kind of bring up a good point that little ridge side, when you're sitting there working the fine black off of there like Ken loves to do, you can actually take advantage. This is a benefit from that ridge being there that I didn't foresee. When you work it up in that corner, you can actually get the black sand to kind of layer off that edge while still trapping the gold in those ridges and do some of that fine black sand gold removal up in that corner.
Well, that was a nice engineering feat of yours.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah. I know you put that in there on purpose.
Well, I put it in there on purpose, but I didn't expect it to work as good as it does. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I'm a tapper, man. I can tap that gold out so fast that I don't bother with that end. Ken loves that end, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, I like that end too because I can get that one or two little pieces of powder. I can get those two, without, it just for me it works a little easier to get that one or two little pieces that are left, and when I'm talking little pieces, I mean little pieces. I can get them from there.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Even the tiniest little speck, we treasure it.
No, I'm telling you. I'm not throwing nothing back.
I can't help it. I might even drop one on the ground, and I'll go down on my knees and hands and like, where'd that little thing go? I want it back.
Oh, I hear you.
Or Steve Pomranke, he would just kick it out to the street.
Put it just that way.
Yeah, I'm not a recreational prospector. I don't throw my gold back. So.
I got news for you, Ed. That's why you're defined as a recreational prospector. Because you don't throw your gold back. It's the Steve Pomrankes of the world that are like, too busy to bother with that little tiny bit I left.
Well, it's just not him. It depends on really the type of gold that you're getting. Like you take a person like Ron Harrison from GPS. He's up in Colorado. He gets all that chunky stuff. He doesn't worry about the powder. He doesn't worry about the fly poop because he's his small stuff is pickers.
Yeah, so, he's doing what's called hydrating.
Yeah, he's getting
looking for the nuggets and above.
Right.
And so that's actually a mining principle that is really hard to convey in our have fun with gold mining community, is that if you spend twice the amount of time to get that last 1% of your gold, you just lost half your gold that you could have gotten that day. It's better to lose 5 or 10% of your gold and get twice the production, or 3 times the production.
And you know what's funny? That's what I was telling people with the claw. Get it down to this point, and you just suck it all up, and then go for the next shovelful.
Exactly.
Get it down.
I don't pan my gold all the way down, especially on the river.
Right.
I pan it down to black sands, and that all goes in a bucket
And
or
you
a
take it
coffee
home.
container. Then I go over it through the winter, when I'm stuck out in the shed and stuff.
Yeah, that's a great approach, because now you have the time to get every little speck. Versus in the field, every shovel you get in that day is more gold.
Right. Production.
And those ridges actually give you feedback, so you can tell what you're doing. What we tell people is you want 90% of your gold to be in the pan, about 10% on the first ridge, a flake or two in the next ridge, and nothing beyond that.
Right.
And if you get more than that going on your ridges, then you're going too fast. And if you get less than that going on, then you're going too slow, and you're losing gold just because you're not panning as fast as you can. Now, personally, because I spent all the time up in commercial gold, I actually push it to where I'm getting flakes up in my outer ring, because I would rather catch the 80% and very quickly find where the gold is, and then go back and get it with a bigger machine, than spend that extra time and maybe not have time to go find the hot spot.
Gotcha. And that's, again, that depends on where you're at too. We have to dig for the small stuff because that's what we got. I'm not saying we don't have pickers and stuff like that, but the majority, 99% of the stuff we find is net poop.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the way we have to work it. In other parts of the country, it's not like that. I'm sure. Well, look at the beach sands I got from Juneau. And that was just shoveled into a box.
Did you travel to Juneau to get that, or did you have them ship it to you?
No, it was sent down from Juneau from a friend of ours over at Gold Prospectors Space.
That's awesome.
Ray Rusaw. Yeah,
I think you've seen him on there as Razor.
Yeah.
I've seen that name out there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I had some Cape Disappointment, I think.
Cape
out of
Disappointment, Washington. Yeah, Southwest
Washington.
They
shipped some 5-gallon buckets down to me full of that stuff, and oh my gosh, is that miserable beach sand.
Oh, I'm telling you. But I'll tell you what. I showed you the picture of the gold, right? That was in the pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. That was just a scoop in that pan.
Well, that's what I noticed about that Cape Disappointment, is there was a lot of gold in it. The only problem was the time invested in getting it out. And
so that was a lot.
That's when you go back to the machine. I mean, the reason they sent that is I guess I'll spill a few beans about the machine. So I ran the 2 5-gallon buckets in 4 minutes of that nasty beach stuff. And what was the assay? I can't remember the assay now. But if I remember right, it was somewhere around 1/10 of an ounce per yard. And that's pretty good gold. And they were saying that there's other areas up there that can be even higher. So that's pretty good gold.
Yeah.
And I am excited to get that equipment out. It's magic. It catches that fine stuff and goes through those nasty beach black sands.
I won't ask no more. I want to, but I won't.
We'll expose it all the closer we get. I'll tell you though, my heart is in the machines. I love that stuff. But right now, we're beginning with the pan. And so we've got this pocket pan, so it's always there with you. It's convenient. It's a rugged tool that you can abuse it and dig down and get in that gravel and find where it's at. And then you've got that original Gold Claw, which is kind of the all-purpose. It fits. It's still small enough to fit in your backpack, but that thing can outpan an 18-inch pan. It's amazingly fast. And then we have all these people. Why do they keep saying this? They want a bigger pan. And so that's what's coming next. Is we're going to make. It'll probably be about 19 inches wide. And man, I don't know if I should admit this on air, but well, I'll say it this way. I'll be conservative. I panned a 5-gallon bucket in under a minute, under a minute, with that thing.
Is that like the whole 5-gallon bucket fit in there?
The whole 5-gallon bucket in there in under a minute.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a little heavy.
So did you have a little arm
and
pump afterwards?
Well, I did more of a what? Is my stopwatch broken? I couldn't believe it was that fast.
You know that Ed and I and Dana, we love trying new equipment.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was a 24-inch wide version, and I think it's just a little too unwieldy. Maybe not for Jonathon. He could probably handle it. But I'll probably shrink it down just a little bit, maybe about 19 inches, so you can run it all day long if you need to. And the whole point behind that is you can't make good money if you're not sluicing. And the point of the sluice is to run high volume. Right. But then there's all these places like in California, and there's more of them popping up that are hands and pans only. And the Gold Claw itself, the original, I was actually competing with Ken with his sluice, and he went 3 hours, and I went 15 minutes, and I got more gold than he did. And he actually went and did a timing on it. He told you, right? He went 7 minutes and 40 some seconds. I don't remember what the seconds were, but just between 7 and 8 minutes on a 5-gallon bucket with the original Gold Claw. How long does it take you to sluice a 5-gallon bucket? You gotta classify it. You gotta classify it. You gotta count that time, right? How long to classify it, and then scoop it in so that you're not overloading the thing. Is it less than 7 to 8 minutes?
Oh no,
it's not, is it? So even this Gold Claw competes with sluices, and then you've got this one we're about to come out with that's actually faster than a sluice. Huh. And so that's why we're building it. We're right now we think we're going to call it the production pan. Internally, we have our little name. We call it the bulldozer or the dozer, but we think its public name is going to be the production pan because it's so crazy fast. It's for them people that are trying to make real money. But it won't go in your backpack.
Won't go in your backpack.
Strapped to the outside.
You don't have to put it on wheels, though, right?
No. It's not going to be anything like that.
Oh, where's that at? Is that still here?
You know, it'd be fun.
Where is it?
You know, it'd be fun, Ed.
What's that?
You have a video. Can you show that YouTube video of this is our Kickstarter video. In fact, I want to put a little word out for the Kickstarter. Can you show that video of our Kickstarter pan that shows everybody using that pocket pan? It's about a 30-second video. Yeah. We have a Kickstarter going on right now. In case you didn't hear Ken at the beginning, if you go out to Kickstarter.com, you can type gold in the search menu, and it'll be, when I do it, it's the first one that comes up. You'll see the pocket pan there, and it says something like tiny pocket pan.
Teeny pocket pan.
That's it. And if you click in on that, then you can order a pocket pan right now. And I think there's, oh man, I should pull it up and get my numbers right here. I'll do that real quick. So I just pulled it up. And, well, there we go. So we have 7 days to go on it. It's actually going to end next Wednesday, a week from today. And I think it's at 11 o'clock at night. And I believe that's Mountain Time. So you can go in there. And the way Kickstarter works, in case you don't know, is this is a place where you can pre-order. And so basically people come in, they buy the product before the mold is made. And then you take that money that everybody spent to get the product and make the mold, and then you make the parts and ship it out to everybody. And it helps people get launched that are startups. And we're a startup.
That's how you started your original.
That's how I made
right?
the original mold. That's right. And then we needed some inventory for colors. We did another one where people could come in and pre-order, and we got some colors made. And then this one is to get this pocket pan mold made. And we jumped the gun just a little bit. We actually had them make the mold before we got the funds. So I had to borrow some money from, those mafia bankers, also known as your wife.
Yeah.
I did not want broken legs. So we did
sleep.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I can sleep. It's just out in the doghouse. But this mold is already made, and it's already producing parts, as we showed you on the camera there for a little bit. But this Kickstarter ends in 7 days, and then that helps us get all that loan money paid back so that we can stay alive as a startup. But then everybody gets that product earlier. It's really a neat.
Well, I'm at your
site.
YouTube channel now, and I have Teeny Pocket Pan for Serious Gold, always with you. Queued up and ready to go. So it's about 32 seconds long. Let's watch it.
I'm finally seeing it. There's a big delay. He took that way past vertical.
Yeah, he did, but it works, I was taking the big one way past vertical, and it was doing a great job. Was that the right video there?
That was the one. That was the one. It's kind of fun to see. Now, here's something interesting about that video. Other than myself, who was that very first one you saw, all those people you saw were trying it for the very first time, and they all successfully caught the gold. These were all first-time panners on that video. They're not actors. They're just neighbors.
But are they hooked?
Yes, they are hooked. And
You're a bad influence.
Now I owe them all pocket pans, now that we have them. Can't afford the famous actors.
And you've led them into a life of prospecting.
That's right. Well, the funnest one was my son. My son was one of them in there. He's the one that at that event said, my dad took me out the first time and we had this big green round pan, and it was hard, and I actually did not like gold prospecting at all. And he said, now that this Gold Claw is here, he says, it's fun and it's easy to do. I'm back into it. So that was kind of heartwarming to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. It's always good when you can get your kids interested in what you're doing. Get them outdoors. Well, you got your son's older though, right?
Yeah, that one was 19 years old, the one in that picture. Had a couple other ones in there too, and a few neighbors. They were all great sports to come down and help with that. So that just gives you an idea. And you can go out to Gold Claw, the Gold Claw channel on YouTube, and there's a whole series of videos out there that kind of see it from different angles and different folks. And all those newbies on all those videos, they're just neighbors. They're not actors. They're not experts pretending to be new at it. They're all real people with real comments.
Well, on that video that I shot from the Gold Show with that little kid, the lady next to him was his mom, and she just was learning how to paint herself, but she got the hang of it, and she was finding gold. You saw a little bit of the black sands where she was showing them. You know, she got the hang of it really easy. So that's cool.
Funny story. We've been banned from several of those panning troughs. We went to this show down in Colorado that the GPA did not put on. It was a local gold club, and they did a great job. But they said, yeah, let's go ahead and put 10 pans out there. And about 2 hours into the show, they said, we got to give half these pans back. We're losing all the gold too fast. And about 2 hours later, they brought the rest of them and said, we're only going to leave 1 or 2 over there. We just can't have these. They're cleaning out those troughs way too fast. And they had this distressed look on their face.
Well, you know what? I think that happened at the Gold Show too.
I do too.
Right?
Yeah, I do
because
too.
I'm telling you, once people started using them and watching other people using them and we're demonstrating them, I mean, that's all they wanted to use. People are standing in line waiting to use the Gold Claw. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't come up over to you and ask for more of them.
Yeah,
well, you'd go around, you'd pan and test, and you wouldn't find gold later. And after you'd put gold in, say an hour and a half later, you'd go test, and you couldn't hardly find gold anywhere.
Yeah, we need to start putting flour gold in there so there's something left at the end of the day.
I think they did that the second day.
They did.
Make it a little more hard to get to.
Right.
That bigger stuff they had in there, it was at least 50 mesh plus, and
yeah,
you could scoop that off the bottom pretty easy.
Yeah, we had some pros in there hitting it hard.
I'll tell you, I'm sure grateful for the GPAA. They made it possible for us to go out around to all these different shows and introduce the product, but more importantly, it was our chance to get to know the customers. Who are all these people that are interested in it? So we can interact with them and hear their stories, and a lot of great stories. Some real serious miners, some people, can't believe the number of people coming out for their very first time. Just some of them saying, yeah, we saw you out on Facebook. We wanted to come in and check it out.
Right on.
And then the other organization that's great is GPS, Gold Prospector Space.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yes, sir.
They have just been as kind as can be and open arms, and gives it a chance. And we were able to meet a lot of people that way as well. And that I love their attitude, because it's so easy to take any product on this planet and search until you find a way that it fails. But the real approach is take all these great ideas people come up with and try to understand what they bring to the table. What is it that they do that's unique? Right. And that's our attitude. A lot of people, like, I don't know if I should tell on them. Let's just, maybe I will. The Turbopan guy, he challenged me to a duo, let's see who's faster, and some other ones. And it's like, why are we doing that to each other? It's not who's faster. It's let's find beautiful ways that people can benefit from each of our products. Right. That's our attitude.
Yeah, I wish you inventors would kind of coheve together, and it seems we've had a few inventors on here, and I'd like to call them all my friends, and it just some of the strife between a couple, it just amazes me when, especially the two I'm thinking of, I don't want to say any names for maybe obvious reasons.
Yeah, don't need to.
They know who they are regardless, but they're two great products, and combined they make an awesome product. And
Now we all know who it is.
I know they know, but I'm not saying no names. So, you know,
Well, you know,
but it's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Damn it!
right.
Beep.
Well, here's something I know. They're all proud of their product, and as far as they're concerned, they have the best product out there. But the reality of that is everybody's product does what they say. Otherwise, they wouldn't say it, right? So it's us. It's Ed, Dano, me, Jonathan, and everybody else listening in. We're the ones that tell you whether you have a good product or not. You can believe it all you want, but if you're not making the sale, and if everybody's telling you no, it's crap, there's something there. But with this thing, I'll be honest with you. When I first got my first Gold Claw, I played with it a little bit, and I really didn't. I don't know if I didn't understand what I was doing, or it just didn't seem like it was something that I wanted to get used to. But as I'm using it more, trying it more, and learning it more, I'm finding I like it more.
I think it was Gold Rush days when we were in our booth and you were demonstrating it all day for 2 days, and I kept saying the more I use it, the more I like it, and then there you go. Now,
actually, what it was that day that I was using it with Razor's meat skins, and I had all that gold laying in the bottom, and it was all clean, and I didn't have to try to, keep swirling, trying to get the black sands to separate, and it was all right there, all lined up, nice pretty lines and rows, and I'm just sucking it up, going, yeah, this is what I like.
Now, here's a question for the inventor, Klint. The naked aggregate mining and exploration. I believe he's from up north and a larger scale miner. But he's been a regular here now, or they've been a regular here now for several weeks now. But he goes, I wonder if would be possible to make it in aluminum for a theory he'd like to test.
You mean like one of my first prototypes? I built this in aluminum. It works amazingly well. So what would probably make more sense is for him to, is for us to build him something specific to his test that uses the same principles. And yes, you could make this out of aluminum. We might have to do a Kickstarter just to make one.
He'd probably have to fund the whole thing, right?
Yeah. It wouldn't be cheap to make one of these out of aluminum, but it wouldn't be that much to make a little prototype featured device that he could test with. And I've already done some testing in aluminum. Aluminum's awesome for stopping and catching gold. It loves to cling on to the surface tension.
Oh, yeah.
Gold has.
Oh, does it? It likes to stick to aluminum, huh?
It does.
Why not do we put matches?
Gold has fission. It's kind of like gold and mercury. Mercury loves gold.
Right.
So does aluminum, from what I understand. That's why there's...
Yeah, aluminum's great.
It's so good to use aluminum for dowsing rods. So, because the attraction aluminum has to gold.
So I guess the short answer is yes, it is possible.
Well,
I'm just wondering what the test, what he's thinking about.
I'm sure. I wonder if it has to do with how well gold likes to stick to aluminum.
Now,
and I already know the answer. The answer is yes.
Yes, it does.
Now, you can go over to Gold Claw's Facebook page and shoot Klint a message and I'm sure he could work with you, right, Clint?
Absolutely. We can get together and talk and stuff. It makes me tired thinking of adding another fire to the iron, though. I'll be honest. I am one wiped out guy.
Well, let me ask you this: is this something that could be used in commercial or well, I don't mean a commercial operation, but to sell something that would be of value to us? You think?
Aluminum's a tricky one because it costs more to process, and it wears out a lot faster than some of these polymers. And so if let's just put it this way, we use all kinds of steel plating and stuff to try and keep that gravel from wearing our machines out. It goes right through it like a sandblaster, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, basically that's what it is. Only, you got your material, wearing away there.
Yeah. So for non-high production stuff, it would work better, but it's going to cost a lot. And for high production stuff, it works good until it wears out. And so it's just not the best material for either case, because if you're not in high production, it's hard to pay for things that are expensive. I mean, it's hard enough to buy one of these things out of Triton. I think it would cost quite a bit more to do it out of a lot more because you'd have to machine it out of aluminum.
Right. It has to be, yeah. Because he's talking about it slows it down, electromagnetism theories. I think he's talking about using
the aluminum.
Right. Electromagnetism somehow. I don't know.
So now I am an electrical engineer and I do a lot of motor design. So I have a good feel for electromagnetic behavior with aluminum and copper and gold. And I do have some top secret work in the way that's not related to this per se, but with magnetism and fields and complex patterns and stuff like that. But my instincts are at the rates that this gold moves across that aluminum, you're not going to really generate any eddy currents to speak of. But the surface tension of gold and the way it's attracted to that aluminum, that's a big factor. Just the static friction and the kinetic friction and the surface tensions. That's where I think you're getting your drag. But he could be onto something. I'm not going to say that's not right.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just based on my...
I'm not an engineer of any sort, so...
Just based on my experience with it, without having gotten actual electromagnetic data, I'm going to say it has more to do with the surface interaction than it does magnetic or electromagnetic interaction.
The finish to the surface.
But that's based on what I've done. He may have something else he's doing.
Don't know. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Well, electric and water don't mix, so watch how much you run through it.
Yeah.
Just ground it properly. All right.
So, I'm running out of questions.
Yeah. We've been
Have we worn the people down?
Now. Well, Jonathon's like, don't quit now. Don't quit now. You must be a night owl.
Yeah, he says, come on down, prospect.
Yeah, come on down, Clint and Ken. We can prospect and test together on several different properties.
Well, so what I might do, I have this thing in my third bay in my garage that's, I don't know, 12 feet long and 4 feet wide and about, it's got to be 8 feet tall, that will run about 100 yards an hour, that I just might pull onto his property one of these days. And I guess we have to shovel into it, but we can do some testing of this new technology. I'm really excited about that thing.
How many shovelers do you think you need?
An excavator.
Oh, about 10 of us then.
10 of us. Yeah. But it's a neat machine.
So this is your top secret machine you're talking about, or not?
It's
trying not to talk about.
No, this isn't the most top secret one. This is just one that I haven't bothered to make totally public yet.
Oh.
Just throw some teasers out there. It's neat.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we won't talk about it since you
Ken
don't
got
wanna...
to see it running. You should have seen the look on his face. And I won't talk about how he wet his pants. It's neat. It's so freaking quiet too. You can't even believe it's running, and it processes that massive amounts of material. Yeah, it's neat.
Wow.
But that's what I want to bring to his site, and we can shovel into that thing.
Well, you'll have to let us know when you go, and we'll make sure to be down there.
Absolutely.
Bring your shovel. One for each hand.
I'll bring 2.
Run twice as hard.
Yeah, well, I'll only use 1, but I'll bring 2.
Well, I've enjoyed this. It's really great to have a few call-ins.
Yep, it's been fun.
The call-in number's fairly new. Hopefully, it will catch on a lot more.
Yep. All we can do is keep trying, right? Keep plugging at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope to see people out on the Kickstarter. You can also go to our website, www.goldclaw.com, and there's the store there. You can get you can actually get either type right now. We just put the pocket pan out there as well as the normal. So we're going to start taking normal orders. But you'll get your best deals out on the Kickstarter.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, we got... I got on that first promotion you did for GPS. The first time you were on there.
Oh yeah, is that right?
That's right.
That's when I bought my first one. It was a great deal. That's when I bought it and did that video. And look where we're at now, Clint.
You guys are doing great. It's great to see your show grow.
You're doing great. I mean, it's good to see your product getting out there, and I'd like to think that we helped a little bit.
Absolutely,
you
guys.
But your product sells itself once people see it. Once people get the hang of it.
Once they know how it works, yep.
Right.
That's the interesting thing is, I got a handful of naysayers, and they're pretty loud, and they haven't had one.
Yeah.
They don't have one. And you would expect, I sold 1 million zip drives every month and 10 million zip disks every month when I was engineering for iOmega. That's a lot of people getting your products in their hands. And there's just 30% of them that are grumpy no matter what you do. They don't like your product. Yet they keep buying it, right?
Right.
So I'm expecting 30% of the people to say, it's too small, or it's this, or it's that, you know what I mean? And we have had only positive feedback on this thing. I don't get it. I'm still waiting to wake up. I'm waiting for people to say, it's not working for me and that kind of thing. We've had only positive. We've had only one negative video at all. And it was somebody who's got a lot of muscle memory, and you could see it right in the video, who threw a bunch of black sand and clay in there, and then he ran it at Colorado sand speeds, but he was using old panning techniques, so he was swirling and doing all that stuff that makes you lose your gold. Had he used that same technique on Colorado blonde sands, he would have lost just as much gold, just because of the way he was using, swirling and whatnot.
See, I've had my pans since you did that, and that's been, approximately a year ago?
Yeah.
And I've used it here and there, and I never really say anything, because other than the fact that I'm still learning it. If somebody says, how's your pan? How are you liking your pan? Well, I'm still learning it. I don't want to say it's good or bad yet, because I don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah, you're still getting the feel for it.
Right. Once we did the Gold Rush show, and all we did was demonstrate that and another product, it was I'm going, wow, this is really cool. And like I said, the best part about it, I was able to suck up my gold in the stuffer bottle without any black
Perfectly
stains.
clean. No swirling.
Yeah, right. And it was quick.
No swirling, not allowed, illegal.
It's illegal
As president, I vow to let the Democrats regulate that. That's the bone I'm going to throw them. No swirling. It just takes too long. I have no patience. I want clean gold, and I want it right now because I want to go get some more.
Right. And yeah, when I showed Tim and them guys at the crew, because they were right next to us, that pan with all that gold in it like that, Tim's going, wow, that's crazy. That's what I was thinking. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this pan a whole lot more. A lot more situations, and like I said, I'm a lot more confident actually with the pan and using it, and knowing that I can catch even the fine stuff with it. I'll be taking it out and prospecting with it and looking for spots and just carrying that.
And not have to classify to shovel in.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, I don't have to classify into my hands so I can see if I got anything. Hell, that right there takes, 2-3 minutes.
It's annoying to have to shake it through the screen, and if you don't have water, then it's you're sticking your gold to your rocks anyway.
Yep.
And when you don't have to do that, you can put it right in your gold claw and let it shake out. Now I do classify sometimes anyway. If I have 80% large rock and I have just 20% of finer material, I'll classify that because I can get through the large rock so quick with a classifier and then just pan the small stuff.
Right.
But if it's 50% or more mix, if it's 50% or more mix, I'll just go straight to the gold claw.
Well, see, now if I was going to be taking that to look for a spot to actually do some production, I wouldn't classify. I just go ahead and look. Why do all that extra stuff if I can go ahead and dig my hole?
Get it right out, exactly.
Yeah, get it right out. And, there's gold here. No gold here. I'm digging over here where the gold is. And
if you're hunting, right? If you're prospecting, you don't want to be carrying around all that stuff. You want just your shovel in one hand and your pan in the other, and just go find the gold.
Yep, that's it. Mostly use a shovel for balance.
So really, you can scoop with the pan.
You can.
Yeah, right.
You can actually use the edge. It's sharp. We made it sharp so it would act like a shovel. You look at a normal pan and it's got that lip on it, and it's really hard to scoop.
Well, I saw that video where Ken's digging into that riverbank when you guys were at the Amherst show, and he's digging into that gravel bar just with the pan.
Right.
I mean, how many times have you gone by a creek and looked down and look at that gravel bar? Yeah, pull over.
I know.
Well, that's
get my
where
shovel
the
out,
new
get
pocket
my
pan
pan out.
comes in handy.
That is the whole point of the pocket pan, exactly.
Yep. Pull it out of the center console of my car, run down there real quick, do a couple test pans. Okay, I'm coming back.
I got color. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse, look, you know our good friend Swifty, right?
Yes, sir.
How he talks about, he gets a Tim the Toolman Taylor kind of thing, soup it up, make it big. Look what the Naked Aggregate Mining and Exploration said.
Let's see.
Now, don't have to listen to read awesome show or something, but thanks, guys. And size matter, especially when you have miles between road and claim. So smaller and more efficiency is the holy grail.
Efficiency is the holy grail.
And,
that's exactly right.
There's a lot of claims out there where you're not going to have a road and easy access to. It's some, like out in California and some of the motherlode country, they used to helicopter in their stuff and have them airdropped. Boom, dredges and stuff way back. And then they'd have to hike in for hours to their claims.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good claims up in Northern California like that. And I was just up in Idaho above Boise, and I could not believe the jungle. I was up there prospecting, considering claiming a spot up there, and you could not walk through that jungle. It was, I needed a machete, and my poor dad, I brought him with me. I almost killed him. We were climbing over trees that were over rivers, and I am lucky to still have my dad. But if I had classifier and buckets and everything in hand, I would never made it. I had to have one hand free so I could hold on to things and crawl my way through that. It was an absolute jungle up there.
Oh yeah.
So size matters.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine trying to carry that stuff here just to do some sampling? You know.
Right. I would have had to make it a 3-day event instead of a 1-day event.
Right.
That's what would have happened.
And talking about jungles, I know that feeling on the west side of the Cascade Mountain Range. That's nothing but thick jungle, rainforest type stuff there. So, yeah, I wish I had the pocket pan years ago. Okay. Aggregate mining and explorations in Golden, BC, Canada. Rocky Mountains elevation is serious. So
that's not too far from where I'm at right now. I'm in
yeah,
Calgary,
you're in Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah, I can see the Rocky Mountains from the skyscraper. I stare out the windows at that river from.
At that river.
Yeah. Staring down at the river, doing my job. By day I consult, by weekend I do gold.
On the weekend, you don't slip out in the afternoon?
At the afternoon?
Yeah, you don't slip out, you know.
I do, but I do. I run to the hotel and do Kickstarter and design and supplier. It's killing me. I cannot wait to get over this hump so I can get back out to the river.
Yeah, I can imagine it's turning into a real job, huh?
While you're still there in that river down below, you were showing us earlier is beckoning your name. You could go down there and do a couple of test pans.
I know. I need to. I keep asking the locals, is there gold in that river? And they keep going, gold here, Calgary? I have a feeling there's gold and they just don't know it.
Or they don't want you to know it.
Well, on the 28th, we'll be having a prospector who sells pay dirt and stuff from Alberta. And he gets gold in Alberta, and I'm sure some of those mountains to the west, you know, I'm not really familiar with that side of BC. That wouldn't be the Cascade Range, so.
Yeah, it's on the east side where I'm at.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about where he's talking about, right?
Well, yeah, BC's like right next door to Alberta, though, and then you have that mountain range that divides BC and Alberta. I'm not sure if, I guess that would be the Rockies. Rocky Mountains, because Banff is in Alberta, I believe, and that's Rockies. So, okay, never mind.
I'm over here in Alberta. I look at what I have is I have a bunch of claim maps that I put on Google Earth so I can see the trends across the U.S. It's awesome. And it ends right at the border. It's so frustrating. I want it to go up.
Canadian version.
I do. Maybe it's there. I just got to go get it so that I can see just what's going on around in this area that I'm consulting in.
Well, I'm sure if you let your fingers do the walking on Google, you could probably find something for British Columbia and Alberta and Ontario.
Let your fingers do the walking. Now that is a commercial from the past.
Yeah.
Half your
Flash
viewers
from
are
the
going,
past.
"What?"
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's showing my age now, huh?
Yeah. Let your fingers do the walking. Yellow
yeah.
pages. The yellow pages.
Yellow pages.
Yeah, I'm surprised
That's,
those still exist.
I don't even know why they still throw them on my doorstep. Every year I get a new one. I never even look at it. I think I throw it away right away.
Because people keep paying for spots in there.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't. Nobody
I
reads
know.
it.
They shouldn't.
I don't think I've read one in 10 years.
I hear you. Neither have I. I mean, I just punch it in my phone. Yep, 2 blocks away. Here's the number. Dial it. Yeah, that's our technology nowadays. Well, look, think about it. We're sitting here talking. We've gone back to a trunk line, or what they used to call those party lines.
Right.
You know, with Skype. So now you're doing the same thing. It's coming full circle. Pretty soon we'll be watching black and white TV again.
We got Ken in Utah, me in Calgary.
Right.
You guys are spread hours apart
In Ohio.
down in Ohio.
Right.
Then we got
Dano and Jesse are 3 hours apart. I'm in the middle at an hour and a half. And here we are having one conversation.
Yeah.
And we got people listening to us from all over the country.
If not the world. There could be some Irish and Scottish and English, some Aussies, and who knows.
There's a place I want to go. I can't wait to make it to Australia.
Who don't? I'm afraid I'd throw away my passport if I went to Australia.
I might do the same.
Yeah. I'd go illegally.
Yeah. Hey, if I could swim to Australia, I would definitely be a wetback there, huh?
And I'd ride right on your back while you swam.
I might be a strong swimmer, but I don't know if I'm that strong of a swimmer.
Someone's got to hold the GPS up out of the water.
We got a caller here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, this is John in Texas.
Hey, Mr. Shaw. How you doing, John?
Texas.
Doing good. I was just going to ask Clint, you still got some pocket pan in the blue on the Kickstarter?
You're asking if I still have Kickstarters available?
Yeah, in blue.
Well,
Blue
the
pan.
blue, the blue pan.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we have. We have blue, we have clear, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to release purple there as well. And we might even make it all the way to green.
All right.
Definitely in blue.
I've got to get over to the bank and move some money around, but I'm going to get me one of those blue ones on the pocket pan. When you had the thing on GPS, the 2-for-1 deal, I got the clear and the green. So get the blue pocket one to go with it. I'll be set up pretty good.
You're going to be set up good.
So how do you like that? How do you like that, John? How do you like that pan?
It's like I say, it took a little bit of getting used to. I have to use a different tub than I normally use because it's a little bit bigger. But I figure with the pocket pan, I'll be able to use the same tub I use the other pans in.
Yeah,
So,
that's funny because I listened to the GPS show and I heard you mention that you could take that pocket pan and work it in water in your regular size Gold Claw.
yes,
So
I've done that. I've done that.
I'm gonna do that.
I have panned inside my regular Gold Claw with the pocket pan.
Well, I'm going to have to test that out, too.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Oh, that could be an episode for In the Shed with Ed during the winter.
So I have a question for the caller.
All right.
Green or clear? Which is your color?
I've used the clear more than I have the green one.
Clear is the way I lean too. I really like that clear. There's something about it.
I have a
Me
green
too.
one, and I used the green one a couple times, and I don't know. I just didn't like that. It was really hard for me to see the gold in it. I think it's that particular color of green. I'm not sure, but I like the clear better.
Mm-hmm.
I just see the gold a lot better in the clear.
Yeah, I like the clear a whole lot better. Like you said, the green, that particular shade's a little rough for my eyes, but I've got a little bit of color blindness too, so yeah, that might be some of it.
Yep.
Should I go darker on the green, or should I just get rid of it?
I don't know. How is it selling?
Most people want purple, blue, or clear.
Yeah. So I can tell you right there what you should do.
Yeah,
I'm tempted.
sure.
I'm tempted to let it go. It's easier for inventory, but there's still that crowd that they just like green. That's their color.
If you was to keep the green, I'd go a little bit darker on it.
Probably.
Just my opinion on it.
Yeah, maybe like a Garrett green or a GPAA green or something like that, John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might have to find a way to make it a little less blah, though. That green just makes me want to sit and look at it and go, boring. It does not light my soul, but the blues do, and the clear does, and the purple does. But I think I can find a way to tweak that green and make it darker, but not quite so boring.
There you
go.
There you
go. Dude, make it rainbow color.
Swirl it.
Swirly color.
Wow. Did you just say swirling?
Swirl it.
Yeah, swirly color.
Say it while you can, because when I'm president, that's out loud.
I'm going to jail.
Well, remember, all of us remember the early '70s real good, so we kind of like that multicolor.
Well, yeah, I can make a tie dye. I actually have a few of those. When you're changing from blue to green, you get tie dye. And some of them turn out pretty cool.
You gotta make some of those. No point wasting any color.
Should I have a separate offering that's the tie dye, and you can go in and choose the one you want?
There you go. I mean,
I think they would sell. It's not for the novelty only.
That's funny.
They probably would. I have to agree
funny.
with John. I think they would sell, Clint. So instead of just putting them to the sides as like irregulars, you could sell them as multicolored.
We kind of thought we'd reserve them as giveaways for fun on the show. Hey, I'll tell you what, Ed. Let's do that right now. I'm going to give away one of the tie-dye colors, where that's mixed between the two colors. You figure out how you're going to do it, and you get me their name and address, and I will provide the tie-dye colored pen.
We could do
that's cool.
Right
Gold cloth.
Thank you.
As soon as I find this website.
So if you're listening and you're in the chat room, comment so that you can get counted.
Yep. Comment.
And as long as we've been on the air
right now,
I'm gonna have to hang up and comment then, because I gotta go back on there. I'm on the phone.
And if you've been on the air, you know how long we've been on the air,
I'll see you guys later.
Some of you are going to have to wake back up.
Yeah. Well,
I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna make a run.
Okay, hurry up.
All right, y'all take care.
Take care.
All right, thanks, John.
Okay, well, we have Naked and Jim and Dan Zoller.
I think Jonathan's still here.
Yep, Jonathan.
Yeah, we'll give them a couple of seconds to comment, because to be counted as participants, you have to comment.
You have to be active.
Yep. Actively commenting.
And we're getting some here. We're getting some more.
Oh, yeah.
Don Wolf.
There's Thomas. Thomas chimed in. Oh, Lucky Duck Thomas.
Oh, Lucky Ducky. Thomas, Lucky Ducky, folks. Thomas, Lucky Ducky, folks. I typed him in.
Oh, yeah, tie-dye would be awesome.
Never know, the tie-dye might be a hit. You might have major orders on them.
So how many people do you see online so far?
Oh, we have
1, 2, 3.
14 watching now is what I see.
Richard.
So how many?
AKA Truth Seeker.
Probably about 8.
No.
Sometimes it pays to be a diehard and stick with it.
Probably about 8 or 9. So it looks like about 8 or 9 people.
I'm working on getting them in. We have John Shaw.
Thomas is actively dead, he says.
John Wolf.
Down East Detecting and Prospecting.
Yep, he just popped up. Down East Detecting and Prospecting.
Bob.
There's Jaron.
Bob.
Message your friends that signed out. Tell them to
Thomas says you owe him half the prize, Ed.
What?
Yeah,
He wants half my 10-ounce bar just because.
No way, dude.
Because I rubbed up against him.
No way. He gets the normal 5%. He can
Now,
touch it.
Go to your wife's Facebook, Dano, and look at the post I did showing the bar, and you'll see his comment, and you'll understand why. Okay.
Yeah, we see you, Jonathan.
I need to bring this up here. Okay, we got Bob. Oh, we need to add. We got Jim, Dan, Jonathan, Jaron, or Jaron. We have
Thomas.
Aggregate. We have Thomas Lucky.
Thomas is in there.
Oh, I forgot Dog. Dog. Lucky Ducky Dog, folks. We have Richard. We have John. We have Bob. Come on, guys. Comment.
That looks like about it. How many you got?
Looks like that's about it.
1,
You got
2,
15
3,
watching.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I
So-
gotta take
so
out me. I gotta take me out because I was on that list. I gotta take old Rignad man off.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
Dano.
He's going to get to me. Oh, don't do it.
For some reason, you're not there.
You haven't commented in a while, Jesse.
Oh, well, here, let me get. No, well.
Oh, I just have to take you off then. You can't win.
All right, this is it. I'm starting another YouTube account and watching under an alias.
Oh, good idea.
All right. Well,
Down East is saying, what's going on?
we're gonna give away a multicolored gold
tie-dye
pan, a tie-dye pan,
tie-dyed, a hippie pan.
hippie pan. Hippie
So
pan.
when we switch colors, when we change from, let's say, blue to green,
Oh, there's
you
another
get
one.
this
Oh.
mix.
Oh,
You get all
there's
these
Leon.
mixed up
Lee.
colors,
Get him in.
I gotta get Lee on.
and they
Yeah,
look pretty good.
Yeah, that's like the end run in marbles.
that's
They'll
cool.
mix
That's
all the
tie-dye.
colors.
Yeah, so it looks kind of like a tie-dye shirt,
Right.
and they're kind of novelty.
Yes, they
One of a
are.
kind, that's for sure. You'll never get two the same.
You do have my address, Clint.
What are you saying? You like tie-dye.
In care of, just send them out to Ed.
It'll have on his tasseled vest and bandana at the creek.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We have Dan Zoller from California, Jim.
That's great. Tie-dye, the California version.
I'm not sure where Jim's from. We have Jonathon from Indiana. We have Jaron, Mr. Lodak from Utah, and one of your neighbors, Clint. We have Naked Aggregate Mining and Exploration from British Columbia. We have
Lee.
Thomas Lucky Ducky Dog Folks from Indiana. We have Richard from, I'm not sure, Richard Peel, I think his name is, the Truth Seeker. We have John Wolf, aka John Shaw from Texas. We have Bob from Maine, East Coast Metal Detecting and whatever his handle is. And we have Lee from Little Gold Spinner. Am I missing anybody?
And Lee says he didn't get a pocket pan.
Sorry, Lee.
You can go to Kickstarter.com and search for Gold Claw.
Oh, even Gold Claw's in there. Did you take him out?
Oh. All right. Well, I'll bring it up in display so people can see I'm doing this up and up.
Oh, come on, make them wonder.
All right, there we go. Ready? There's the names. I have Dan Zoller, Jim, Jonathon, Jaron, and I call him Name, Naked Aggregate Mining and Exploration, and Thomas and Richard and John, Bob and Lee. Ready? Drum roll, please. Ooh, and we have a winner. And the shipping shouldn't be all that much for you, Clint. It's to Utah. Mr.
What?
Lodak,
Well, there you go.
Our moderator and friend, Jaron.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, Mr. Lodak. We're going to hand deliver that to you because I like to meet my neighbors. So now we need to get his address, though, just to be safe.
That's cool.
Yep. Jaron, doggone it, pulling a Dennis Dayton. Please send me your address via Facebook and I'll get it over to Clint for you, or go ahead and contact Clint via Facebook.
Messenger.
You want him to contact your personal page, Clint, or your Gold Club page?
We want him to message us, contact us through Messenger so that we can keep his address being too public. Just right on Gold Claw would work great.
Okay. Contact him through Messenger on Gold Claw at Facebook. Jaron. Lee says he better get a pocket pan this weekend, Clint.
Who's that? Who's saying that?
Lee Hirschberger from Little Gold Spinner.
Oh.
I know he really likes your pans too.
Yeah, he does.
Well, there's nothing holding you back. You can go to the website right now and get one. Or if you want to wait a little, go to the Kickstarter, but you'll get a better deal. the Kickstarter, we have one offer that's 42% off and another one that's 51% off.
There you
So
go, Lee.
that's the place to go.
So your next show is in North Carolina, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
We're going to be down there this
Concord,
weekend.
North Carolina.
I'm hoping some of your viewers will come down and say hi to us.
I hope so. I don't know how many of them are down that way. Let's see.
I don't know if I should call them viewers or listeners.
Well, a little of both, I imagine.
Either or, because
That's
they're
true. You got
listening
both.
and viewing.
Right.
Good point.
So how do you like our picture with the pans?
Oh, the one you have on your main site right now? I love it.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
You know what blows my mind? Why does the pan look freaking yellow in photos? That thing looks yellow.
Well, it kind of looks yellow to me too. Anyways, it looks more yellow than green to me.
It is definitely a lighter yellow than. Are you saying that camera is colorblind? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
It looks
I think
mustard.
I think it's that yellow.
It looks mustard.
It looks mustard compared to the actual color. But it happens a lot.
On your picture, it looks greenish.
Very
that
green.
Baby puke, baby puke,
Right.
poo.
Yeah, baby
poo.
Puke green.
Right.
That's a good way to describe it.
But yeah, in the picture I took with the phone, it does look yellow.
Well, sometimes in the right light, they come out yellow on mine as well. That's what's funny. So I haven't seen Mr. Lodak post on Facebook yet. Maybe he's trying to friend me first. So that he can.
Or maybe he's not doing it yet. I don't know.
Could be.
Oh no, he's got a message up there. He said, "I said give it to the next person earlier."
Oh, okay. Wow.
I see. It's too creepy. We're too close to each other in Utah.
You don't want to meet you.
No, he
That's
did
all right.
say that earlier. I remember him saying that. He said, "If I win, pass it on."
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I would.
Well, there we go. We got to do the drawing again.
Yeah, right
One
here.
more
He
time.
said, "If my name is called, take the next in line."
Okay. Well.
I thought he said something, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, he did.
Okay. Well. Okay. All right. We have another chance for someone else to win. Any new names in there I missed?
Nope.
Any.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, here, I'll bring this up. Get down my chat. Cover that up. Oh.
This is like work, huh?
For the tie-dyed hippie
I wish
pan.
I could just go poof and it'd be done, but I can't.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lodak. And here we go. All right. Well, there you go, Hook. There you go. So, Jonathon, aka Hook, aka Jonathon, head over to Facebook and message Klint and give him your address and he'll get that out to you. Or you could always come to Indiana and
Pick it up in person.
deliver it in person.
I'll still have to go take Mr. Lodak out to lunch. I like to meet my neighbors.
There you go, Jared.
There you go.
Don't worry, Jared. He doesn't bite, or he hasn't yet. So.
He's no psycho or nothing like that.
Hey, he said sure thing. Awesome.
There you go. Jared,
all right,
Jared, Jerry's a pretty interesting prospector. He prospects house foundations.
Job
Well,
sites.
not house
Well,
foundations. He
Well, he
does
we're
house.
old,
He,
right? And he
What you're saying is, while he's laying a foundation,
yes,
he's got a dig site.
yes.
Oh man, every job has its perks. That is brilliant.
he when they go digging foundations out, he if he sees cobble or river gravel, he brings his gold cube. He brings everything out.
Yeah.
Works it during lunch and after work when he's allowed.
So, who am I looking for? Who won again?
Jonathon Parrett.
What are the
you
odds
met
of
him.
that?
You met him. I don't know.
What are the odds of Jonathon being our winner?
Pretty good.
That is. See, there you go. That's, what do they call that? That Chinese thing, serendipity, or
just
the word
luck.
escapes me. It's not yin yang. It's when you do something good, good comes back.
Karma.
Good karma right there.
The fickle lady.
Yeah, what you reap is what you sow. So if you sow good, you'll reap good, right?
We're just that easy.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But you know what? Speaking of Chinese proverbs, have you heard that story of the guy that went up and found a horse? It was so great. He went down to the wise man. Look at this. Isn't it great? He goes, maybe. Well, then his son gets on the horse and tries to break it in and breaks his arm, breaks his leg, I think. So the guy goes, isn't that awful? He goes back to the wise man, isn't that awful? And he's like, maybe. And then the sergeant of the army comes to town and says, all able young men, come to battle. He goes, wow, my son had a broken leg. Isn't that great? Maybe. And the story goes on and on. You never know if it's good or bad what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Just be grateful for every day. Did I lose you guys?
No.
That was just too deep.
And I was thinking, of Chinese proverbs like, one goes to bed with itchy butt, wake up with a smelly finger.
I knew where he's going with that.
Wow. I would say that was deep. That would just make it worse. It's time to log off. We have just gone south.
Oh, that happens sometimes. Yeah, we're almost at a record-breaking moment. Gee whiz.
Oh, really? We got to go so these people can survive this video. Jonathon, you still need to friend me on Facebook and message me so that I can get your address to ship this to. Get you a tie-dye.
Yep.
The good news is, since I know who he is and I met him, I can't lose him. Well, should we wrap things up?
Yeah.
Are we at that point?
Be that time of the evening.
Or did you want to break a record?
Well, that would be about another 25 minutes. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I know you have things
I'm
to
thinking
do.
a couple more minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a little over 3 hours was our longest show. But next week we have Hook on, Jonathon Parrett of Hookmyster Prospecting and Outdoors. He'll be on talking about his properties and whatnot in southern Indiana, Greensburg, Indiana, which is a pay-to-dig site. So he'll have
pretty good rates too.
He'll have a full show to talk about that. Thank you all for joining us. So we'll have to let our friend Klint go. I'm sure he has a lot of things to do.
He keeps looking at that
Indeed.
river down there.
Yeah,
And it's in the dark now, but there's still lights on it.
Yeah. Go classify a bucket full and bring it up to your room.
I know. Do it in my sink.
There you go.
There you go.
Shad and Brain Freeze, Kathleen, right? They keep doing stuff in their hotel room. Now they can actually pan in the sink.
That's gonna be awesome. Like I said, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna do that and do a video on it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sign out then. Thanks for having me on, everybody.
It's our pleasure, Klint. Thank you for joining us. And it was a pleasure on meeting you at the Gold Show over the weekend.
Yes, it was. It was a pleasure. Delightful. And we enjoyed helping you out. No big deal.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that was no problem whatsoever.
All right. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. And on that note, thank you everyone for joining us, and may you always have a flash in your pan.
And you know what he always says.
That's right. Maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river.
All right.
Good night,
night, Ed. Good night, Dano.
Good night, Jesse. Night, Ed.
Dano. Good night,
Night, Clint.
Good night, Clint.
Good night.
Good night, Clint.